Hi, Luminaires! How is everybody doing out there in the world of Facebook and YouTube? It is a lovely Wednesday, hump day, middle of the weekday, great day, best day because I'm actually going to be talking to two incredible people. And the first incredible person I'm going to be bringing forward is a Reiki Master from Australia named Ismene. And you can find her on her website, healingwithismene.com. I will be putting it up. And the reason that I wanted to bring her forward, I actually kind of hounded her a little bit. I was like, listen, how can I help you? Will you please come do a live stream? So this is her first live stream and talking about her craft to many people that maybe she doesn't have a personal relationship with. I did this because I admire the way that she works. I love her connection to the energy, how she commits to it. I love her passion and wowness. She gets very excited about what she has experienced. And for me, watching people discover their connection to subtle light energy, of course, guys, you know, it's one of my big things. But to watch Ismene grow in such a short amount of time into this incredible healer, I mean, this is somebody to keep your eye on. She's been doing this now for a little over a year, and hopefully, I mean, I don't need to praise on her or anything. You can hear it through her words, but hopefully, you'll see how much that she has developed her ability to connect with subtle light energy and create these wonderful healings with people from all over. She does remote work as well. So if you're in the United States with me, don't worry, she does remote work. But if you're hanging in Australia near her, maybe you can have an in-person session, but I'll let her tell you all about it. So I'm bringing her forward. I see you guys there. Good morning. Here's Esmini. Hi.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Okay, I first like this game. It is 10 a.m. for me. What time is it for you?
It is 12 a.m. and today is freezing. It's like freezing today.
Really? Okay, last night here in Atlanta, it felt like 104 degrees. It was 94, but it says feels like 104 degrees. Not freezing.
What is that in Celsius?
Oh my,
It sounds like a lot.
it's not hot. It's super, super hot. I can't do the translation so quick. Maybe somebody else
Hi,
can.
Colleen.
Yep, you can see the chat thread. Leanne saying hi from Chicago. Good morning. So as our luminaires wake up and put their fingers to the keyboard, Ismini, can you tell us a little bit about you and how you even got into Reiki healing? Like what?
Yes. So I was born and raised in Greece. And when I was little, I guess like till teenage years, like my parents used to take us to this foresty, mountainous area near the place that we lived, and it had the ruins of an old ancient Greek temple. And I remember whenever we would go there, my parents would say, "Go and sit on the rocks and the ruins and the marble, the ancient marble, and you'll gain the strength of ancient Greek warriors." And I used to just run up to them, sit on them, and just embrace them. And I would close my eyes and just imagine this filling up with like their, I guess, vibration. I didn't know what it was, but I just felt filling up with their energy. And then whenever I would feel like I was filled up, I would just hop off and then we would continue, our hike. And that was my first energetic experience that I remember, and I was around, 6, 7 years old. And then fast forward to my teenage years, I grew up having a lot of animal companions. And whenever I would notice them being a bit like in discomfort or being a bit off, I
Mhm.
would just act out of instinct and I would, put them in my arms or in the palm of my hands if they were like tiny, or and just like let them let them be there, like just let them rest. And I remember feeling that I had to give them I didn't know like how energy worked back then, but I remember feeling that I have to give them my healing so they can feel better. And sometimes they would sit on me for like a couple of minutes, sometimes 10, 20 minutes, and then they would be off doing their thing. And I would notice sometimes, yeah, after a couple of hours or like the next day, they would be like all chirpy again. Like I remember I had like this big fish tank with all these different types of goldfish, and whenever I would see them, they were a bit off. I would just put like my hand like that inside the tank and just let them rest, like the little fish there. And sometimes like would swim off, and sometimes I would just sit there for a while, and I would allow them to stay for as long as they needed. And
Okay, and nobody showed you or taught you that you yourself could give them that space. Like this is the deepest definition of sharing that I've ever heard from a kid. Is sharing your energy to help the
yeah,
strength
I
of
had
somebody
no
else.
idea what I was
Really?
doing. I was just doing it out of instinct. And then my mom had read somewhere about this thing called Reiki, and she was like, I think you're doing Reiki. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a definition about it. Yeah. And then the big shift happened last year in 2021. I remember we were in lockdown, and just sitting in my bedroom, it was like 12, 1 a.m. like now, and I just felt like there's more to life. And I felt that I need to find my potential. I haven't found like my true mission in this world. And then I opened my Facebook, and who do I find? I find you, and you're offering the Reiki level 1 class. And I was like, I know that word. And I clicked on it, and I was fascinated.
Oh my God, you're giving me goosebumps galore.
I signed up, and my life changed. Level 1 Reiki changed my life, transformed it, and I immediately signed up for level 2. And level 2 is all about distant Reiki.
Mhm.
And I remember thinking throughout the class, like, should I like practice on my sister, or should I practice on my brother? Like, who should I like practice on? And I just slept on it. And the next day, I woke up all chirpy, ready, to share my wisdom with my family, what I learned in the class. And we get this phone call from Grace, and it was my grandma. And she said that my dad, who was there, taking care of her and looking after her, he had gone from Melbourne to Greece to take care of her. And she told us that he had a stroke the night before, and he was in hospital, and she had no idea in what condition he was in. She had no contact with him at all, no contact with the hospital, nothing. If she didn't sleep all night, she was just waiting for us to get up, and so she could call us and help her out. And I just went, like the waterwork started, but I went on full autopilot. I transformed my coffee table into this beautiful altar. I put his picture in the middle, and a few pictures of some beings that I wanted to assist me throughout this healing. And it was Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Mother Mary, and Jesus, and also my grandfather, my dad's dad. And I did this beautiful um, crystal grid on the pictures, and also I had the symbols that I learned the night before, like the Reiki symbols that you taught me. And I just delved into it from day one. And I remember it was like a full-on experience. Like immediately, as soon as I delved into it, my left side of my face went all numb. My left arm went all numb, and my leg. And I started feeling his panic and how scared he was. And I remember holding it was as if it was like an astral projection in some way, because I remember like as if I was holding his hands and I was telling him you're gonna be all right, and then I felt his heart rate slowing down, and I felt this warm hot current running through my arm and my leg, my left arm and my left leg. And then I got out of the healing. And after a couple of hours, we called his cousin who had gone to visit him in the hospital, and we were able to like call him and talk to him. And they started saying how like that his arm and his leg are like so warm right now. They were like so cold all day, and all of a sudden it's just like on fire. And they were like, "Whoa!" Like it's like the blood is rushing now, like through the limbs. And
Is it okay if I pause you here? Because I want to highlight something that's really important as an observer. And if we're
yes,
not aware of healing modalities or practices, we might not know to differentiate this. But when, as Minnie, you're sharing your story about connecting to your dad in the hospital, you were sharing the details as if you were open to whatever and you were observing them, and not only observing them but feeling them in your body. So it's very different than a healer coming in and going, you've had a stroke, I need to fix this, I want to make sure that we correct this and get you back to health. Like, my goal is to get you to health. You
yeah,
didn't come in with these heavy strapped down goals that could absolutely interfere with how a person is doing their natural healing, because though we are channels of light this way, we don't always know what's best for the person. And you just showed up and you did this with a relationship that's extremely important to you, your own father, which I think, and in my eyes, the majority of us would be like, just don't die. Like, we would come in with the healing aspect of don't leave me, don't die. And you came in with the I'm connecting to you. Like, show me. I think that speaks volumes about how you handle your healing energy personally.
I had to. I just acted like that. That was like the only way that I could connect with him, because we weren't allowed to travel, like the travel we weren't allowed to leave the country or enter the country, and that was just my outlet. That was the only way that I could just connect with him. And like I couldn't even connect with him like on the phone, because I could only talk to him when his cousin was there. So yeah, that was like the only way. And I think that's when I discovered my mission. um when I started working with him, because after a few days we found out that he had to have surgery, because both of his carotid arteries were blocked, heavily blocked, and he was pretty stressed out because we weren't going to be there with him, and he just felt that he was just going to go through it alone. And sometimes he would say, I feel like this is like my ending. And I just did my best to unblock it so he wouldn't have to go through the surgery. And I actually managed to unblock his left side. It went from 60% down to 30%. And he only had to do surgery on his right carotid artery, and everything went well. It was like all successful, and all is well now. He's like in his healing journey. And
What is that like for you to get the validation of the work that you're doing?
I was like so happy to find out that he's all right and he's getting better. I Because I couldn't do anything else, and I just wanted to just contribute in any way, shape, or form. And just seeing the results made me happy. Like I remember in some healings, some days I would just feel like a tiny tingle down in my toes, and then he would say, "Oh, like I started wiggling my toes today." And I was like, yay, way to go, Dad. Like, I never told him that, what I was doing behind the scenes. But
Does he know now?
well, he doesn't understand this whole energy healing modality. So like I'm slowly like talking to him about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, slowly.
I really enjoy how you're not necessarily coming at this healing journey from a logical standpoint, a more analytical. You naturally, have been doing this your whole life, but you come at it, you approach it with such an open heart and a presence, and it to me makes all the difference. Some people do these classes and take Reiki, and then they set out to find all the validating points to prove that they're doing what they're doing, rather than allowing their light and their energy to move through them to help other people, naturally, and not doing it to seek a validation. So it's super refreshing. And you're getting a lot of hellos, by the way. Yeah,
Hi.
Ismene is such an inspiration. So thankful to have the opportunity to hear more of her beautiful story.
Oh,
And
Vera.
I know Vera's here. Oh, I forgot I can do this. Vlad's even sharing, same for us as Mini Reiki changed our life. Jamie is our teacher and mentor. That's my favorite
She's the
thing.
best.
Even Kyra's here with us. Reiki
Kyra.
changed my life. I love it's a life-changing game. And to be able to work with, the people that you love or that aren't near you. Like you can travel the world with this. You will never be away from those that you want to be in front of.
Yeah, and that's the most rewarding part, I think. Just seeing the transformation that takes place in people's lives and animals' lives, and just seeing them blossom and becoming who they are. Like, for example, another example, like I've been working with this doggy that had a lot of like severe anxiety, social anxiety, and he would just lunge at everyone, and his family couldn't have anybody home. And I've just like started working. I said like we'll just do one distant. I'd just been working with him distantly because he was like so like I didn't want anybody that's not related to him near him. So I'm like I'll do distant Reiki to him once a week. For a few months now, I've been working with him, and he has become like the most affectionate dog. Like his family's like, I can actually have people now over, and he doesn't bark or doesn't lunge at them. And like the most surprising thing is like he's so affectionate with children, and like he turns around and lets kids pat him, and he's just the most affectionate dog, and it's just like wow, mind blowing.
It
It's like
is
the
mind
best
blowing, right?
thing.
And he didn't even put a finger like on
Nah,
his physical body.
because he was so like anxious, and I just told him I'll just work on him distantly once a week for 1 hour, and we'll see how it goes. And it took a few months because that it was a chronic issue, like from a puppy, basically. Well, not a puppy, I guess. I think they said it started around 2 years old. So he's 8 now. So if you've been fair bit of years being like like anxious, socially anxious like that. But yeah, we're still working for him to just calm down with other animals now. He's getting there.
So if you were able to work on anxiety, I'm going to throw this question up from Nicole. Can Reiki help with depression as well?
I think he can. I think he can help with anything, but I think definitely with depression, and also as I said, because it's a chronic issue, you might need a few more sessions.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I think it can help with anything, because what Reiki does is just helping. your energetic body just heal you from inside out.
I agree. Nicole, I've seen it mend bones after they were broken. So if it can mend a bone, that 3D dense frequency, it
That's
can
amazing.
absolutely shift and change depression. Emotions and thoughts to me are more fluid than our 3D physical body, and Reiki can influence those with greater ease than bone. Yeah, it's amazing work.
It's
I'm throwing
amazing.
up another question just real fast, and then I have a question for you. But Emma X says, can you send healing through the eyes just by looking into somebody else's eyes?
I guess if you have the intention, the healing intention, I think it could work. Because I think it's all intention. Even I don't think it'll come from the eyes, but I think you're gonna send it etherically to that person.
Yeah, because when you're channeling Reiki energy through the physical body to connect to somebody else, Stanford University has done some research on it, and it actually, if you're in the northern hemisphere, comes from the North Pole, and a counterclockwise spin comes to the top of your head, down to your heart, out your hands, and out your feet. But there's no hard and fast rule that there are channels in your body that just run that Reiki. I would imagine simply by the gaze and the look, and
You would.
as Mini said, it's the intent behind it would allow you to connect to the person.
Yeah, intention is so powerful.
So, how do you think the whole distance healing works? I mean, you got all of this connection with your dad, with this beautiful dog that you've been working with. How does it work? That
Yeah.
could be a loaded question, but I love hearing people's insights.
Yeah, I guess like in physical and mathematical terms, you would say it's something to do with the quantum realm.
Okay, yeah.
You enter that realm, you enter the physical, you not the physical, you enter the energetic field. And again, it's all the intention. Where intention goes, energy will flow. Because energy doesn't understand, well, is this physical? Is this what is this? It'll just flow where the intention will go. And that's where it kind of like I don't even think about it now. I just do it. But I think obviously I have an intention behind it. Does it make sense?
It makes great sense. I mean, it's also, I think people have a hard time because we've been so hardwired to um, statements such as seeing is believing, and
Yeah.
that a process, one, two, three, four, five, you repeat this process, you get to your goal, you're complete. And even with Reiki, I I enjoy when I'm teaching it, the telling the differences between modern style Reiki and traditional style Reiki, and the hand placements when you're in person. Like somebody might start at the top of your head and move through hand placements all the way through the body. This is a modern addition to the Reiki, and done so that people feel like they've gone through a process 1 through 5 to reach an end means to say, I've completed the session. But
Yeah.
you don't even have to touch a person to give them Reiki. You don't have to be in the same room. You don't have to, go through any kind of rhythm routine to complete the Reiki healing. So
Yeah. I
traditional,
do use it.
yeah,
I do use that, start from the head, like in my distant Reiki form, but then like I move around and sometimes um I see specific body parts or organs that pop up that might need extra,
nice.
yeah, extra help or extra tender love and care. Sometimes I might see like a chakra that might need some extra love or tender love and care.
Okay,
um
how do you see the organ and the chakra and how do you see it? How do you know?
um It's kinda like it pops up
Yeah,
like I see like a body and then it pops up like ding, like I don't know how to explain, but like it just pops up.
I love it. No, I
Yeah, sometimes
especially
it
like
might
the
be,
sound
like
effect.
pardon? The sound effects. Yeah, it's like it pops up like ding, and that's how I know that okay, I need to pay attention to that organ or like that body part or that chakra doesn't look all right.
Because that body is presenting itself to you like, please, I need extra attention. It communicates and comes forward. And,
Yeah.
it's different for everybody, but I also see them. They look like they're highlighted. So,
Yeah.
sound effect ding would really work for me as well. It's like they're calling my attention so much more. And it's not like I would sit down and think about my friend and go, I'd like to think about her kidneys now. The kidneys just go pop, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
why am I thinking about the kidneys? And then it's having that trust. And you seem to have that trust like innately, just built in with you. Like it wasn't taken from you. So I really commend and thank your parents for that as well. Thank you. Oh, we have so many questions just by looking. Nicole is saying thank you for answering her question
Okay.
and be sharing that they also do a lot of remote healing as well. Vlad agrees that eyes, hands, anything that you can just push the energy out. And then Bob just wanted to share, just wow, wow. He's blowing his mind. I love it. Um, oh, this is an interesting insight from Edna. Can Reiki help with healing past life trauma that's resurfacing in this life?
I
What
think
do you
it
think?
can. I think it can, especially if you've talked about it with your client and you know what you need to work on. I think you can dive into that realm
Yeah, I
and
mean,
work on it.
yeah, you were just talking about quantumly speaking. That's how Reiki works. It's multidimensional. It deals with energy. Energy does not adhere to the time space continuum. And so when we know it doesn't adhere to that, if somebody is connecting to past lives or future lives, to me that sounds very plausible. And I have had
Yeah.
several people use Reiki to mend, heal, remove wounds from other lifetimes so you don't have to play them out in this lifetime.
Mm.
It's
Because it's all happening at the same time after all.
it is. It is all happening at the same time. That blows my mind though. I can't like think too much about it. And
Yeah.
I like to share with everybody that if you're listening and you're enjoying how Ismene is approaching Reiki, heart-based, very open, observer mode, always allowing the best healing for the person, animal, plant, past life to come forward. Check out her website as healing, healing with
Healing with
Ismene.
me.
And you also have sessions that are 30 minutes, 1 hour, and in person remote, as well as animal.
Yep. Of course, like I couldn't like I just love working with both humans and animals.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. And also it's like what you said like about like bringing ancestors. Did you mention that? I think you mentioned something now about like communicating. Yeah, I remember like when I was practicing with my dad, the first time my grandfather spoke to me and I was like, "Wait, what?" What was that? And
I
that was
think,
like my pardon?
go ahead.
No, no, what did you say?
I think it's difficult to separate the practice of Reiki from our natural intuitive abilities and our psychic abilities, being able to communicate to energy, and everything is made of energy, whether it's current in this lifetime, whether it has transitioned, he, she, they, it, whether it's about to approach in the future. Again, Reiki doesn't adhere to time space continuum, so the application of it can open up so much for the practitioner. So,
Yeah.
you communicating to your grandfather, like that checks the box for me. I'm like, of course, yes.
And I think your trans-channeling class also helped unlock those abilities. Because after that, those classes, I started seeing more ancestors of my clients just popping up and just either being there to assist with the healing, or maybe they had like a few messages for the person. And I think that helped me a lot.
Wait, stop there. So, when you're in a Reiki session, if you get messages from the person's team, spirit team, do you
uh,
translate them for them, or do you just use them
I
only for the session?
I always tell them. I'm always like, like after the session, I'll always tell them what I see, what I feel, and what I worked on, and yeah, what happened during the session. And yeah, sometimes I've seen, people's grandmas or grandfathers popping up, and sometimes I'll just sit there and I feel like they're just assisting with the person's healing. And sometimes they'll have like a few things that they want to say that like, they're always there with them, or like they're so loved, and simple messages, and sometimes they don't appear.
It's true, they don't.
It's
But
just like the person that I'm working with, or like the animal that I'm working with.
so, Luminaires, heads up, if you're doing a session with Ismene, it's going beyond Reiki healing into the whole like receiving messages as well. But I think that's a full package deal. But Reiki isn't presented as doing that, though. I would say the majority of people who experience Reiki come back with this spiritual awakening, this deeper connection beyond what they thought a healing would be. And I think it's because we traditionally think of healing as I'm going to take this medicine for X amount of time, I'm going to go see the doctor, and then I'll come home. And then I'm waiting for my body to give me the signal that it's changed. When Reiki is like, we're not just working on your physical body, we're working on your mental body, your emotional body, your spirit body, your energy, and your physical body. So all of a sudden, you've got these instant awakenings and shifts and changes because it's not just dealing with the symptoms of the physical body. So,
Yeah, and I feel like it's our birthright, like, but we've just forgotten about it. And I feel like now more and more people are awakening to their abilities, and they just want to like shine around the world and like shine their potential. Like, I think it's pretty cool what's happening, and I feel pretty happy to be part of it.
I'm so happy you were doing this and you found your passion. I have a few more questions. Do you
Yeah.
still have time? So, Jacqueline's asking, as Mimi, do your services involve chatting at the end of the session? Like, do you do regroups, talk about what's happened? What's it like?
Yeah, so how the session works is that, like they'll book an appointment, and I'll contact them and chat with them about if they have any particular areas they would like me to focus on, or if it's just like a general healing. And then I'll go in the meditative state and I'll do the healing. And then I'll come out with it. I'll write down all my notes, what I experienced during the healing, what I saw, what I felt, what I worked on. And then it depends on the client. Like if they want, they can have like a Zoom chat, like a 15 to 20-minute Zoom chat, or like I can email it to them. I really don't mind. I'm open to what they like to do, because I know like around the world, the time change, the time difference. So it's whatever they want as well. Yeah.
You are so in service to us.
I
It
just
is like, I
this
love
is it. This is like my mission, and I feel like this makes me the happiest when I can just serve you.
You're gonna make me cry. Like this, you have sweetest energy to be around. Shelly Ham is asking, do you believe a person can be healed from physical issue by their guides or angels?
Absolutely. I feel like if you give them the permission, if you open that portal and ask for them to intervene or help out, I think they'll be there like in not even a second, like you can't even like count the time. They'll be just there.
I I was reading Irene's little statement. She just threw out Ismene is such a unique name. And I'm like, because it's the name of an angel. You're just an angel on earth. It's I've decided, so be it. No. What does your name mean? Do you know?
It is an ancient Greek name,
Hmm.
and it came from a story. I don't know if you know the story of Antigone.
Oh.
It's an ancient Greek tragedy,
Hmm.
and yeah, she was Antigone's sister, and she was basically. I really like feel like I'm kind of like her. She was also like always like taking care of her family, and at the towards like the not the end of her life, but like she decided to become a priestess for Athena basically, and she went on with her life to continue to become a priestess, but then she had a tragic death because it is a tragic story, a Greek tragedy.
Oh yes. I didn't know that though.
Yeah.
Bob is saying, I feel awakened but have zero abilities. Can Reiki work for me? So, Bob, do you mean can Reiki help you with your psychic abilities? Is that the question? I think it's a great question. What are your insights?
On mine.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. Like, I mean, like, I was doing it when I was a kid and didn't know what I was doing. But then I signed up for your class, Jamie, because I wanted to really understand how it all works and, yeah, understand that ability, that innate ability that I guess everybody has. And you helped me unlock that, and I'll never go back.
You won't go back. I don't want you to go back. I'm so happy to just shout from the rooftops about your work and the quality of work that you have. And I'm hoping that any luminaire out here that is like, I've always wanted to experience Reiki, but it's just not something that you flip through, the internet or the phone book. We don't have those anymore. But showing my age, and just pick a name randomly. Like this is something that's very personal, and you want to make sure that the practitioner can hold the space for you, can be present for you, that's doing the work they say they're doing, has high integrity. And so here, guys, here's somebody who has that. This is not the only person in the world. There are others like B and Vlad are on our chat thread, and B has an high integrity and an incredible Reiki practice as well. She's located in Florida now, in the United States. Um, but it's just like if we don't talk about the people doing their good work, you know, some people won't be able to find you. Like I believe partly my job of teaching is also to stop and say, hey guys, keep your eyes on this person. Like this is somebody to acknowledge. And there's so many wonderful students that cross my path, but don't ask for what's next. How can I get there? And I'm not going to push them very hard, though I did. You said maybe, and I was like, when? Like, hold you down to it. We're not going to do this. But it's not like you're the only one out of everybody who's come through, but
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're doing this with me today.
And I'm so grateful
So,
that you organized it.
you're so welcome. Before we close up, I always like to ask people if there's a golden nugget that you could leave with the Luminaires, just something that maybe inspired you or kept you on a path or brings you comfort? And if there is, can you share it with us?
Yes. Um, I guess it would be follow your heart, and trust your gut, because I think deep down we all know what we're meant to be doing, but sometimes we're just scared to just change pathways. Um, like I think my life just turned turned around, and I went in alignment, I guess, like with my pathway when that night that I found your class. And I think I have to like say thank you to our spirit teams that like synchronized everything. They did a very good job synchronizing everything. And before we close off, Jamie, I just want to say thank you to like everything that you've taught me. Like I wouldn't be here without you. And I'm so thankful for everything, for your teachings, for your guidance, and I'm so grateful that I can call you, my teacher. And I hope that we can meet one day, like face to face. And I know you're coming to Bali next year, so this is not like on my to-do list. Like I want to be there.
Come to Bali. I miss
So
your neck
thank you
so
for
hard.
everything.
Oh my God, you are so welcome. I did not expect all of that gratitude. That really hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we, thank you. I was about to say before we close up, I was going to post it again, but it's there.
And thank you
Healing.
to Colleen.
Yeah.
Colleen has been so helpful. So thank you to Colleen.
Amora is agreeing with you that our spirit team does so much on our behalf. It is so true.
They're
So thank
amazing.
you. Thank you. And I hope you get some good sleep tonight. Thanks for staying up to be with us today.
I think I'll be buzzing a bit now after this.
And keep us posted. I would love to hear if you're doing something new or offering something. And if you're headed to Bali and you want to do some Reiki treatments,
Wow. Yeah.
let me know. Or hopefully,
Yeah, I'll definitely keep in touch, and I'll be on the outlook for like any new classes that you offer. I'll definitely, sign up for anything interesting. Always interesting.
thank you. All right, this is our signing off, Luminaires, and I'm hoping that you're remembering that it's not woo woo, it's true, true.